Tom, you want to get started?
All right. Hey, Dave. On offense right now, are you a little concerned that nobody in the top 6 or so is really just tearing it up right now? You like to have a few guys hotter than this in the postseason?
Yeah, we're going to have to swing the bats a lot better the next couple of days if we're going to win this series. Hoping that we got jump started there in that 8th inning of the last ball game. But, we're facing a really good pitcher tomorrow. Throws a lot of strikes, moves the ball around, a lot of movement. But we definitely have to get it going.
And then what about the status of Vermillion? Is he on your roster for this one? And Brady, do you think getting him back in the lineup was important as you go forward,
It is. We need, first, Vermillion's on the roster and then getting Brady back. And even though it didn't go real well for him offensively, last weekend, I think just getting him those at bats, kind of getting him going, I think should help him out for this weekend.
Matt?
I think between you and Coach Avent, there's something like 2,500, 3,000 wins, but I don't think you've ever faced each other in a game. How well do you know him? Have your paths crossed in the USA baseball circuit or elsewhere?
Yeah, just talked to him a few times in person, talked to him, maybe a time or two, either recruiting or on the phone. We have some common friends, that, say good things about him. So, I mean, he seems like obviously a really good baseball coach, been doing it a long time. He's won a lot of games and just a good person, good guy. So, but we've never coached against each other on the field.
And then you've got a lot of guys on this roster who were even here in 2018 when you're going through super regionals, Obits and Vermillion and whatnot. How much do you think it helps having as much super regional experience as you've still got on your roster?
Well, I think the more experience you can have at this time of year is, it can be if they're handling it in the locker room and talking about it. I think the players that are new, to each experience, whether it's regional or get to a super regional, they're going to look to the guys that have been there and done that. And, Opitz has been to, I guess this would be his 3rd region or super regional now. And, those guys have experienced it, so they can discuss it, maybe how to handle it and maybe downplay it a little bit, like it's just another series.
Hutch?
Dave, have you set your rotation yet for this weekend?
Yeah, just for Friday though, because we're going to leave it open. We're going to do what we need to try to do to win Friday. I mean, what rotation? We don't have a 3-man rotation. We got a 1 or a 2, and then we go from there. So we just try to win tomorrow and figure out who we need to throw on Saturday. So Wicklander will go tomorrow.
And then also with Vermillion being on the roster, are you confident that he's going to be able to give you some innings this weekend? And how's he looked in practice this week?
Looked real strong in his bullpen this week, and no pain, throwing the ball hard. Yeah, I feel confident that he can help us.
Scotty?
Hey, Coach, what has Caden Monk shown you guys this week, and how important could he be this weekend for your bullpen?
Well, he's ready to go. He's didn't really have to throw last weekend, and he's well rested. And again, you just can go off their bullpen and what Coach Hobbs tells me. Said he's good to go, and we planning on using him. So hopefully he'll get on the mound and have a really good outing for us whenever we use him.
Nate? Nate, we'll come back. Bob?
Yeah, Dave, now that you've had a few days to study up on NC State, what's your take on their lineup and maybe their pitching staff as a whole?
Yeah, I'll start with the lineup. It's very experienced. They've got some really good offensive players in their lineup. Up and down the lineup, they're a threat. They're going to be a threat every inning. They've got a few guys that can run, and if they get a chance to steal bases, they will. It looks like their offense is one that you could call it that if they get ahead of you, they're gonna up it a little bit as far as being aggressive. They're going to try to run it up and keep it rolling if they get the lead. So, and we know that there's some other teams we played this year that kind of play that way, but they've been hot. They've been swinging the bat, scoring a lot of runs. You know, last weekend in the championship game against Louisiana Tech, they found themselves down 4-0 and they didn't blink. Came back and won that thing going away like 14-7. So it's going to be every inning. We're going to have to do a really nice job on the mound. We're going to field the baseball.
I know, I'm sure you'd like to have Casey hit a little bit better than he has this year, but it seems like he gets timely hits, like the home run the other night, the big double. I guess he ended up on third base in that game against Florida that clinched the conference. Just what have you thought about his ability to deliver in the clutch?
He has been a clutch player. I mean, I think back to a few games in 19 where he got some big hits for us to help us win games when he was the new catcher and the guy that was hitting down in the order, and got a couple game winners, a walk-off. I remember one walk-off hit, and he's just kind of got that knack to come up with a big hit. This year has been no different. I feel like that, he's a little frustrated that he hasn't hit for a higher average or maybe more home runs, but he's gotten a bunch of clutch hits to either start innings, maybe driving a big run or whatever, and it stands out a little bit because it's usually in the biggest moments.
Thanks.
All right, let me know if you've got more questions in the chat. Otis?
Coach Van Horn, what's Connor Nolan's status for this weekend, Coach?
He's ready to go.
He is? Okay.
Yeah, he was ready last week too. He pitched for us.
Okay. Dudley?
know you'd rather lead from the start, but what is it about this team that's been able for them not to panic and be able to have these comebacks?
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because it started early, I guess. I think we were behind in, the first two ball games of the year to some really good teams and came back and won both of them. And I guess they've never really blinked since. We've been behind a lot, come back and won. And, it hasn't been every time, but it's been a good percentage with this full season. So maybe just the fact that there's some guys that have kind of been there and done that. They don't get too uptight. They know that we've got a couple of guys that can hold teams at the end of the game. And if we're down, that we might have a few innings to come back. And it's happened a lot. So I guess just that the experience of the team, probably more than anything. And once you've done something, you feel like you can do it again. And they've done it again over and over again.
Matt?
When Slavens was thrown out in the 8th inning the other night, I think it was the first time we've really seen him run, and he was limping a little bit. How much better is he running right now than a few days ago?
Just a little bit. I won't say a lot, because he's going to baby that thing, and we want him to. Honestly, we just he's better, but he's not 100%. He's probably 80%. So he's got to be careful.
And then I had a couple of quick questions for you about SEC. First, about Jim Schlossnagle being hired at A&M. What were your thoughts when you heard that? Well,
we've kind of known that Jim was wanting to maybe make a move and wanted to get to the SEC probably for the last 5 years. It seems like, there's been a lot of rumors. We thought he was going to go to Mississippi State. That didn't happen. And, just welcome to the league, and it's a great league, great division. So, he's staying in the same state. There's some rumors out there about who he might hire, and I don't want to make any comments on that. There's some really, really good people if he gets them. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
And then there's 6 SEC teams that are in the super regionals, including LSU, and I think that surprised a lot of people. What did you think about the teams that you saw advance last week and how the league did in the regional round?
Well, honestly, it didn't surprise us that LSU advanced. We know how much talent they have, and they've been up and down. They're a very offensive team, and that's what they did there. They lost first game, then they started scoring runs. They recycled a bunch of their pitchers the second time out. They did just enough to hold down a strong Oregon team. That didn't surprise me. I felt like Tennessee would win theirs. I thought Mississippi State would win theirs going away, and they pretty much did. You know, Ole Miss was at home, felt like they would win. I guess, you know, it doesn't surprise me one bit that they're all made it. They've been through our league, and most of them played at home, except, you know, I guess LSU, and they're tough. They fought through it.
Last one, Bob.
Hey, Dave, they're starting pitcher Johnston. At least I assume that's who they'll start. He really shut down Alabama. Is that something to get your guys' attention? Because that was an SEC team. I think he only gave up 1 run in 8 innings. I think it was.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of that. They hit a lot of weak ground balls to the right side. They're left-handed hitters. They play the shift, and they hit right into it. And, you know, he's not overpowering. He's going to go about 90 miles an hour, 88, 90, but he's got a lot of run on his fastball and sink. Throw sliders and, you know, change ups, and obviously the fastball. We've got to have a good approach against him. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. You know, if we can stick with our approach, then feel like we can get some runners on. He's an older kid. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to win, and he's won a lot of games. He's thrown a lot of innings. So it's normal that you're going to face an experienced guy like that first ball game.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, last one, Hutch.
Yeah, Dave, I was wondering how Kevin has responded this week after his heavy workload this weekend, and is he looking, you know, just fine like normal?
Yeah, from everything I've been told, and I've talked to him a little bit, but I go through Coach Hobbs on most of it, or our trainer or whoever, and they're like, his arm's great. You know, I think probably the day after, his body was a little bit sore from, you know, going more than normal, and you know, a couple of days later, he seems to be good to go. He feels great.
All right, that wraps us up.